The Eurozone states faced losses on the Greek debt deal, and markets were off yesterday on Senator Reid's fiscal cliff from Marks. Can this new fledgling rally find some footing? I'm Nicole Erkin, and the morning call starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com.
And I'm Nicole Erkin with The Street, and together we bring you the Morning Call Express. Now, yesterday we saw the second down day in a row after a bit of a Thanksgiving rally. Fiscal cliff headlines were dominating with Harry Reid as the star of the show yesterday. So after a bit of a down day, did that fledgling rally, did we lose it completely? What do you think right here?
At this point, no. On Friday, we came in, the market was really overbought. We were like plus 50 on the oscillator. So a lot of traders were thinking we can get some type of corrective action. The question is, what type of corrective action do you get? So we had 2 down days after the Thanksgiving rally, after a move from almost 1345 back to 1410. So a little corrective action is key. So right at this point, I think mapping out support levels to see where we hold is important. Seeing where we hold could also help us measure the speed moving forward.
Yeah, and it seems that really the fiscal cliff is headlines are driving a lot of the stocks. And one of the sectors that is most moved by some of these headlines is the industrial sector, a very cyclical sector, a sector that's dependent on corporate spending, on real confidence and certainty in the market. So looking at the industrials business, Boeing is one name in that cohort that looks interesting here. What do you think from a technical
See, we were talking about this before, and I think that finally on a macro basis, this one looks ready to go. As a trade, it's been choppy, but recently in this last move, it responded very well. So if you look at the chart here of Boeing, you will see that it responded well over the course of the last week, coming right back to resistance, right back to the 75 area. I do think with a little corrective type action or a little bit of a pause, just say above 73, I think that this stock could break out and be a nice winner into 2013 because 75 is a key area. You look at the weekly chart on Boeing, you will see nice tight channel going sideways. So this is a candidate for a big move next year. I think getting above 75 and change would be a win for it.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, it hasn't really done very much. Looking out to next week for Boeing, the week after next, actually, they're expected to announce some of their capital deployment plans, big buyback, dividend increase. So this is a good catalyst for the name. It's also in the crosshairs of the government a little because it has defense. So there are some sequestration worries that have kept the stock down along with product cycle concerns. But aerospace play, capital deployment, good name.
Yes.
So also in industrials, another name that we've looked at, and we've looked at in the past as a China play, is Eaton. This name has been really strong, and if you listen to us back a couple of calls ago, it has had a nice move upward. Eaton just got final approval for its acquisition of Cooper Industries, which gives it some more U.S. exposure. It gives it a little bit more late cycle exposure, less cyclicality. But it's had a big move, so are we too late? I
don't think it's too late. I think that entries and exits matter, and I know that we've talked about this name a few months ago. So hopefully, guys got involved when you initially spoke about it who knows, like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So at this point, you just go quickly to the chart, and you will see that this stock has performed well. If you look at this last descending little channel here, it broke out well. You saw some commitment to it. This is the weekly chart, and now you had one bar of correction. So I think perhaps a move down to maybe 50 or 49 would be very healthy. But if we hold around 50 or maybe even a little closer to 49, I do think this is also in the cards for a move back to the highs and through the highs. And if China does get a bit stronger, and I think there are people saying that it hit that bottom, this is a candidate, and I think that it should be on everyone's game plan.
Yeah, and as macro drives a lot of these industrial names, we still see a lot of stock-specific action. Obviously, yesterday, big news was Conagra finally acquiring RAL Corp. A really big move there, good move for the packaged food names. Another interesting name as a potential Me Too play is Hain Celestial, a good healthy food play, another name we've talked about. What do you think of the chart?
Technically, it's putting in a wedge type pattern, which is great for traders. It gives you a point of entry. And if you look here to match up the fundamentals with the technicals, you go right to this chart, you will see that this wedge could be resolved to the upside. This stock starts getting above 62. It could set it in motion to the upside. So right around here, maybe a tier 1, tier 2, once it gets above and closes above that 62.5.
So finishing up with some quick hits. Obviously, the market always feels good when Apple and Google are doing well. How are these names positioned right now?
Well, with Apple, you just saw a move from 505 to about 590. So I do think we get a little bit of a corrective activity. I'd like to re-enter. I sold my Apple yesterday around 588. I'd like to re-enter around 575. There's also a micro point in 580. Finally, yesterday, also Google, that's been quiet, woke up. It's on my radar. I am long Google. I think we can get above 675. It could set it in motion. So it is good when these stocks are in play. Traders love getting involved there.
Great. Well, we're going to look into all of these names and more in the full version, so stick around.
Hi, I'm Sean Hendelman of T3 Live, where we train, coach, and mentor traders in order to help you put your money to work with confidence. The T3 Live approach is a blueprint for you to recognize, adapt, and ultimately take advantage of different market conditions. To begin your training with T3 Live, we would like to offer you the opportunity to enroll in our free 30-day online home study course. Fill in your name and email address, and I'll see you on the other side.